What is up, guys? I am back with a short video that I'm doing for YouTube. I was talking with one of my coworkers at work the other day about mental health and guns. So a lot of people in this country right now think that guns are a gun problem and that we need to take all the guns away, have stricter regulations. People who keep saying that don't understand gun regulations and gun laws, first of all. So not anyone can just go buy a gun in most states. Yes, there's like gun show loopholes and things like that, but for the most part, it's not a gun problem, okay? It's a people problem. And I know you're gonna hear this every time you look at anything to do with guns. You'll see like, so for people who don't do guns, they see like an NRA side and then they see everyone else, okay? It's not like that. Okay, so there's a lot of gun owners who are also NRA members, but you also have a very large portion of the population that is not a part of the NRA, because I can't speak for everybody, but not everybody who is a gun-toting human believes in what the NRA does, okay? Keep that in mind. But the main point of this video is to tell you that what it comes down to is that there are veterans, okay, people who have served in the military who are, you know, sane, nice human beings that you talk to, deal with on a regular basis, that are just great human beings, who are afraid to go to the VA or afraid to go to the doctor to claim PTSD, because if you claim PTSD, they flag you as someone who can't purchase a gun. So understandably, that's something that's very important. So if someone has PTSD and they're, not everyone who has PTSD has issues where they can't function as a human being. Sometimes they just can't do things at nighttime. Sometimes they have night terrors. Sometimes they wake up sweating and screaming because of things that have happened to them. Who knows? I'm not a veteran, but I know that people have talked about their stories to me, and they're powerful and they can be really scary. But all people with PTSD don't feel like they need to go around and killing people. That's just not how it works. It just doesn't work that way. And so mental health and guns is its own topic that should be discussed. Myself personally, for anybody who has followed me on Instagram for the past 2.5, 3 years, knows that I've been going to counseling for a really long time. Just because I've been in some serious shit relationships when I was a teenager. As a young adult, I had a lot of really bad things happen to me. I'm sorry, sunshine. But just because I go to counseling doesn't mean that I'm a crazy person and I'm mentally defective. Okay, like anxiety and depression, sure, they can be triggers for some people, and some people commit suicide because they have these anxiety panic attacks or are depressive. People who have bipolar depression, people who have regular depression and they take medication, they're still normal human beings who are still trying to function in society. But it doesn't mean that every single person who has been medically diagnosed with depression or anxiety can't own a gun. Yes, it's hairy, and I know that there's a weird spot there where we need to figure out how to make this work for everyone. But it just goes to show you that there is not a cut and dry solution to the gun problem. It just doesn't work like that, okay? Like when I first started going to counseling, I told my counselor, I was like, look, I don't want anything serious to be claimed on my insurance, because I was paying for my counseling through insurance at the time. I was like, look, I work at a gun store. I've been working at this gun store for about 2 years now. And if you say that there's something wrong with me on my, documentation, because they have to submit documentation to the insurance company, I was like, if something gets on there, they will flag it and I won't be able to work at my job anymore. I won't be able to handle firearms. I won't be able to do any of this. Am I mentally defective because I have anxiety and I have a troubled past or a troubled history? No. So I just want people to think about the fact that it's not a gun problem. Yes, it's a people problem, and people do things for their own reasons that we may not ever understand, but it's not cut and dry. It's just not. Mental health is a direct correlation to what some people do, like people who shoot up schools, or people who shoot up movie theaters, or people who, hell, shoot up the bar/restaurant on the San Antonio Riverwalk, like my hometown. It's just, I want you to realize that it's not so cut and dry as, hey, let's get rid of all the guns, or hey, let's get rid of all the mentally like defective people. It doesn't work that way. It's a people problem. Something needs to be done about people who are having a hard time and people who are having issues. You can't just be like, oh, sorry, you have PTSD, you can't own a gun. Whoops, sucks for you. Doesn't work that way. So Tuesday afternoon, food for thought. Just keep that in mind next time you're talking to your friend who is a veteran who also likes to shoot and buy guns. Thanks.